Galactic Standard Date. Year 11356. Day 95. Sol Standard Date. 4th of the 7th. 3267. Bjorn was covered in gore from head to toe as he alternated between raking waves of Azarians from the sky and smashing or slicing those who got too close. There were simply too many of the Azarians coming in for him to handle. Hundreds had made their way over to him, and he was alone. The first 70 or so died before they could touch the ground, but after that, almost half of the Azarians were able to slip past his fire. The Azarians were stupid, but they were smart enough to use their fallen brothers as shields against Bjorn. With this, Azarian after Azarian made it to the ground. Bjorn was breathing heavily as he raked another fire from the sky on one hand while smashing in the skull of another with Mjolnir.
Munin! Inject me with the Zoom juice!
Munin appeared on his hut looking haggard and covered in Azarian blood.
Captain, injecting 4 milligrams of Berserkir serum number 887.
Bjorn's pupils dilated, and he took a deep breath as he felt the serum coursing through his veins. His mind hit a hefty time dilation as the world seemed to slow to a crawl around him. He felt stronger than even Basileus, but most importantly, he could taste colors and see sounds. Bjorn let out a challenging scream at the coming Azarians before he started cackling like a psycho as he performed the bloodiest dance in history. He stepped forward with his hell sabers fully extended and sliced through the massive tentacles grabbing for him. He continued the momentum, spinning and sliced through a couple of the Azarians before he made one final slash through the extended tentacles of the final one and bring his other hand level with it, before unleashing a scattershot with all 3 barrels of the Bushmaster. The back of the Azarian's head blew open just as another Azarian dropped in behind Bjorn. Bjorn had a serene smile on his face as the Azarian that snuck behind him tried to wrap his tentacles around him, only to get a face full of the main thruster. Bjorn chuckled as he turned and saw the scorched corpse twitching. He refocused his attentions on the horde that was still coming from above. He only noted that some had landed on his flanks, but they had seconds until they could reach him. As he swept his twin Bushmasters across the sky, he mentally readied Mjolnir and began powering the arc charge. Another 5 Azarians fell limp in the sky before the 3 that had surrounded him on the ground came close enough to attack. Bjorn smiled as he set off the arc charge using his mech as a Tesla coil. Lightning arced off the 3 Azarians, scorching lines across their bodies. One of their numbers had his sides open and his guts spill. The second had his brain completely fried as it lay on the ground convulsing and throwing his tentacles in every direction randomly. The last one was struck with the smallest voltage and barely survived. Their paralyzed it stared up at Bjorn hatefully. It mustered up all the willpower it had and tried to force even a single tentacle to reach Bjorn. He didn't give it the satisfaction. Mjolnir came crashing down on his head, finishing it off. With the ground forces taken care of, Bjorn raked another few out of the sky. His stimulant had begun to wear off. As he fired away in between the reloads, Munin supplied. He had noticed that several Azarians had actually hidden behind their fallen brothers all the way to the end. Bjorn had disregarded the corpses that had fallen until his radar screamed at him. 11 total Azarians had hidden away using the hundreds of dead to mask their signature. Tentacles reached out and held his arms down until they pointed exclusively at the ground. Another set wrapped up his legs. Bjorn fired the main thrusters, but another 2 Azarians grabbed hold of his legs, and the 3 that had his legs swung him face first into the ground, sending shockwaves through Bjorn's mech. Bjorn growled and triggered his shoulder launcher. A single Ragnarok shell shot straight into the dirt. Bjorn smiled wider than ever before as he lay next to the biggest grenade he could get. The tentacles tightened around Bjorn as they moved in. Bjorn retracted his Bushmasters, and instead threw out 2 middle fingers behind him. "Fuck you! Ha 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 ha!" Boom! Bjorn flew a solid 50 feet before slamming back into the ground in a smouldering heap. He coughed heavily as the wind had been knocked out of him, even through the inertial dampeners. He stared up at the sky to see when the horde would make it to him, but the horde had begun to pull away. Bjorn let a weak smile grace his lips as he threw up another middle finger at the retreating Azarians. "That's right, you dirty sons of bitches! Fuck off!" It was at the very moment that he told them to fuck off that he realized a crucial point. Wait, why are they running? Azarians without their warlords don't do unit tactics, so why are they retreating? Oh, fuck. Munin, I need repairs, now! Munin drove his little Tonka back with another load of scrap materials. "Commencing evaluation of Berserkir class warmech now. Evaluation complete. External armor, 73% compromised. Joints, 55% compromised. Internal armor, 36% compromised. Electronic warfare suite,
4% compromised. Operating systems, 20% compromised. Estimated time to full repairs? 1 hour.
Bjorn breathed a sigh of relief. Oh, sweet baby Bacillus. You had me worried with those high damage statistics. Thought we might be fucked.
Munin appeared on his screen with a solemn look. We are in the middle of an active war zone. There is an Azarian warlord overhead that was not present when we warped in. They are being reinforced with unknown numbers. Our raiders are scattered. We are fucked, Captain.
Bjorn sighed before shrugging his shoulders. Guess I'll die a glorious death. May Bacillus guide me to Valhalla. As Bjorn finished his prayer, a chat request appeared on his HUD. He opened it, and his screen was overtaken by battered and bloody Jarl Balgruuf.
Bjorn, I'm bringing a group of berserkers with me. We managed to get some breathing room after the Aetherians pulled out. Better to have a group when that warlord shows his face, eh? We will be there in a few minutes. By the way, you look like shit.
Bjorn let out a deep, throaty laugh. At least I don't look as bad as you filthy bastard. Ha! Balgruuf's eye twitched, and before he could respond, Munin cut the feed. He appeared on Bjorn's HUD and sighed before shaking his head.
Tusk, why can't you just have a normal relationship with your friends? He said, before winking out of view.
Bjorn smiled as he stared up at the sky. This is normal. It's just how we are, Munin. Don't know how you haven't got it through that digital skull of yours yet.
Munin fell silent for a moment before sighing. Well, I'm just glad you are alright. Hopefully we can survive the rest of the night. We've almost made it. Every day we hold here is another day that the Azarians get pushed back even further.
Bjorn chuckled. Haha, maybe we will even get some reinforcements. No. Almost nobody would have been able to mobilize as fast as we did. If we get reinforcements, they would be few. Wonder if any of our fleet is still in the skies. Maybe they can bring down that warlord.
Captain, no. There are scant few remaining ships that could even begin to fight the warlord. Most of the fleet grounded itself after they either ran dry on ammunition or were forced to make landfall like we were.
Bjorn scoffed. At this point, I'd even take the damn Russians.